Hey partners. As you know, one of my greatest joys is recognizing how important you are to the commercial fishing industry. But did you know that POCFs are also the biggest influencers when it comes to safety? In fact, the number one reason that fishermen say they wear safety gear is, quote, because my partner tells me to. That's the power of love, and it plays a vital role in keeping our fishermen safe. Talking to your fishermen about safety can reduce the current reality that 80% of fishermen who are lost at sea weren't wearing a PFD. We can change that. That's why I'm proud to partner with Kent Safety Products. They make Coast Guard approved PFDs and innovative flotation gear designed specifically for commercial fishermen. Their gear is comfortable, durable, and made to move with fishermen no matter the fishery, because the best safety gear is the kind they'll actually wear. And just so you know, we only partner with companies that genuinely care and produce high-quality products for the well-being of our fishing communities. Kent Safety Products is definitely one of them. Visit KentSafetyProducts.com to find the right gear for you, your fishermen, and your kiddos too. That's KentSafetyProducts.com.
I'm Megan Waldrop, host of the Partners of Commercial Fishermen podcast, an extension of an online community for partners to connect and feel less alone. Our podcast invites fishermen, family, friends, and supporters of the industry to learn, laugh, vent, and hear stories about this incredibly unique way of life. What do you say? Let's dive in. Hey, partners of commercial fishermen, welcome back to our amazing podcast where we get to hang out every week on the lifestyle that many people just can't relate to, and that is commercial fishing. And if you're new here, I'm your host, Megan Waldrop. Welcome. Grab a seat. You're welcome at our table at any time, because today we're talking about new routines, shaking them up, how not to feel like a robot when you go about your day-to-day life. And I feel that September is a perfect time to do that. September, as they say, is another January. It's a fresh start. Maybe it's something we were programmed since we were little because that's when we start school. Maybe your kids start school and that's also why it feels new. But also it's the end of summer. It's the beginning of fall. So there is this shift. The weather's getting cooler. You're maybe putting your sweaters back in your closet. There's an awareness that things are changing, and it's all good. Change is good. And if anything, partners of commercial fishermen and fishing families understand change. One of our greatest superpowers is our adaptability. There's a phrase that you've heard a million times, only the strong survive. Let's cut that out. That's not actually true. The most adaptable survive. If you're able to survive, if you're able to adapt, you're able to grow, you're able to move forward, you're able to hold down this fort, survive, whatever, deal with change. Only the most adaptable survive. And that's who we are. And that goes along with the new routine. So let's talk about routines. I know we all have our morning, how we rise, how we start the day. We all have our certain things that we like to do. But maybe sometimes it can feel heavy. I mean, recently I've felt that way. As a self-proclaimed type A person, and I'm sure other doctors would diagnose me as that as well, I really stuck to my routines. And I do this every day regardless, and I'm switching it up, but I'll tell you what my old routine is, and I've mentioned it before. I wake up, I practice meditation, physical therapy exercises, and then I would practice yoga. Then I would make coffee or tea and start my day. That was every single morning. It would take me about 2 hours to do that. And after returning from an epic vacation trip that really has shifted my perspective majorly, that I'm going to talk about in another podcast episode, I've realized that routine doesn't fit me anymore. I'm not the same person I was back then, where that routine really did support me. At that point in my life, I needed something to do every single day to make me feel grounded, especially when Chris was fishing. The seasons would get, you know how the seasons get. It's especially the beginning of a season. It can get pretty anxiety. Anxiety can build. You don't know what the season's going to bring. Then you're worrying about their safety, of course, always. And when are they coming home, and figuring out dinners and all the things. And so for a long time, that routine held me because I needed something to feel stable, and that's how I did it. And so, but now I'm not that same person, and that's great. I love my old version of myself, and I'm loving this new version of myself that I'm growing into. And I've realized that I held on very, very tightly to routines, to control, to a point where it was imbalanced. I wasn't able to enjoy life fully, because if I didn't do these certain routines every morning, then my whole day was off. Everything was off. And I'm thinking, why am I holding myself to such a strong standard of living when I have control of my life. I can do whatever the F I want and it's fine. We can all do whatever we want all the time. We don't need to feel bound by some kind of restrictions and rules. There's enough out there. So that's where this new routine came in. I thought, you know what? I'm not going to wake up early AF and go into which I love, my yoga meditation room. I'm very thankful that I have a space for that. I love it so much. But I'm going to switch it up. Today, I'm going to go to the beach and I'm going to watch the sunrise. And so that's what I did. For a week, for about, 4 days out of last week, I woke up early in time to watch the sunrise. Now the sunrise is in North Carolina around 6:30, 6:40. So I would get down there, watch the sunrise, tons of other people on the beach watching the sunrise. It was amazing. And then I realized I'm going to practice some of my PT exercises, meditation, and yoga here. And so why not? I don't care what other people think about what I'm doing on the beach. I'm 43. I'm finally shedding that skin of caring what other people think. Let me rephrase that. I do care of other people. That is why we have this incredible community. I deeply care. I just don't want to care about the BS that don't matter anymore, when really it's just my insecurities that are making me feel small and limited. It's not about other people. It's my insecurities. I see that. I don't care about those. I don't want to care about those insecurities anymore. So I'm practicing meditation out on the beach. I'm practicing yoga out on the beach. And it feels great. Maybe I'm going to inspire someone to do some yoga, or maybe people are like, wow, what is she doing? That's crazy. That's fine. People can have opinions. That's great. It makes me feel wonderful. The fact that I'm able to have my beautiful practice, listen to the wave, the sun's rising. It's still warm enough, but cool in the morning to do that. In January, it's probably going to be too cold for me to go out there. I don't know. Stay tuned. I'll keep you posted. But that's been a really lovely shift for me. And before I was kind of apprehensive about it, thinking my old mindset, is this going to throw my day off? I'm going to get home around 8 and I usually start work around 7 or 8. Is this going to throw me off? And I thought, no, I still have plenty of time to do what I need to do. I'm just going to restructure my day a little bit. And now it's even shifted even more to where I'm an entrepreneur. So thankful for our community as a writer. I'm able to build this amazing life as an entrepreneur, which means flexibility. There's also, of course, the discipline of being an entrepreneur, as we know, if you are one. And that is making yourself do the work because you have time to structure your day. But now I'm restructuring my day. I'm like, you know what? If my day starts at 9 or 10 instead of at 7 or 8, it's all good. Yesterday, I did some work and I thought, I'm going to go on a nice long walk. And I did. I came back. I practiced the drums because I'm taking drum lessons. It's been my 13-year-old dream. I'll talk about that in a little bit. And then I went back and started to work. And then I usually have these very long to-do lists that end up transferring, pushing out to each day. So I'll have a long to-do list on Monday, and then I add it to my Tuesday to-do list, and I add it to the Wednesday of the things I didn't get done. And it just really creates stress. I'm realizing that I'm just pushing on all these to-do lists onto each other. And now I'm realizing, or I just do this certain amount of tasks today, be present with it, really invest my time in it, and then I can do the other ones tomorrow. I think, was it Ben Franklin that says, don't put off today. What is it? Don't put off for tomorrow what you can do today. I actually feel put off for tomorrow if you're not feeling it today. That's my quote. Put it off for tomorrow if you're not feeling it today. It's all good, depending on what it is. Of course, you need to go pick up your kids from school. But I'm talking about, maybe there's some chores, maybe there's some other work things that you can shift around. So it's the routine. Like, how can we switch it up to not feel robotic, but also get excited about it again? I mean, I'm going to practice meditation and my PT exercises because I want to feel strong and make sure that my body's healthy. And yoga, that's what I'm going to do. But how can I do that? Okay, maybe I'll do this in the evening. Maybe I'll do this at the beach. Maybe I'll do this, you know what I'm saying here. And another small thing that I did, I started adding vanilla extract and cinnamon to my coffee. I know that sounds super simple and you might already do that, but man, that makes me feel so happy. And now I just bought a little immersion blender. I'm about to make some amazing lattes. I'm not really a latte person, but I'm like, how do I make my morning even more special? I love a golden milk latte. It's the turmeric, it's the milk, it's warm drink. It feels so cozy. And I thought, why am I waiting to only have that when I'm at a cafe? I'm going to make that at home. These are the small things that I've done to help switch it up. And I wanted to share some things that might help you if you want to switch up your routine. Maybe you don't. Maybe you love your routine. And heck yeah, that is all that matters, is what brings you joy. We don't need to add any more stress to ourselves than what is already happening on the outside. What might be happening on the outside, that we have to keep practicing and make sure that it stays out there and it's not affecting our nervous system and bringing us more anxiety, because we don't deserve that. No one does. It's not healthy for our lives. And also it's not joyful for our lives. When at some point are we going to take ownership of that joy, of that peace? We can do that. It takes practice though. It's not just, I'm going to have a spa day and the next day I'm going to feel like a new person for the rest of my life. No, it's a practice. We got to keep retraining ourselves to shift out of that old mindset and into this newer mindset that's going to help be more supportive. And also, are you really that person you were last year, 5 years ago, 10 years ago? What are you still doing from those days that you're doing now that just doesn't feel supportive? It's a constant little life tweaks. And I'm speaking of someone who is actually going through that all the time and not someone who thinks they know all the answers, because if one thing I know, I do not. And I am happy with that. I am going to be a student for life, and I want to share anything that comes to my mind, because I feel that our vulnerabilities are what connects us. And that is what keeps us feeling like we're not alone. And also that's the amazing part of our community, is the fact that we can be real with each other. I mean, we ain't got time for that. That is the best part about meeting other partners of commercial fishermen, is the fact that you don't have to go on and on about what your partner does and why it's stressful and blah, blah, blah. They just freaking get it. And it's the same feeling I have when I meet someone who is a military kid. I just met a woman who is a military kid yesterday. We were at Costco renewing our membership, and I asked her where she's from. She's like, "Oh, she said, I'm a military kid, so I lived in a lot of places." And I'm like, girl, me too. I totally get it. And it's this instant camaraderie that you have, that it doesn't matter if my dad's retired. He's been retired for years, but that lived experience we share together, and we instantly clicked. I mean, it's just so nice. And that's how it is with partners of commercial fishermen. You are in it. You know that lifestyle, whether you're in that lifestyle now or maybe your fisherman is retired. It's such a peculiar, incredible experience that we understand that adventure, and that's going to bond us forever. And that vulnerability is going to bond us forever. I could tell, just talking to this woman, I can tell military kids, because there's a way that we speak to each other, and there's eye contact, and there's a way that it's just, we're so used to having to meet new friends all the time as kids, that we are pretty much our vulnerable selves all the time, because that's how it was. I mean, it was, starting new schools can be difficult, but there is that shared, like, your shoulders drop. And that's how it feels when I meet POCFs. And it's amazing. And I really, really want that for all of us. And I'd love that we can have that beautiful container in our private group chats. And if you ever are curious to connect with other POCFs, you go to POCFpride.com. You can learn all about it. Okay, so let's go into how to switch up your routine so you don't feel like a robot. And these aren't huge. But these can feel huge, which is nice because they're attainable, and they can really make your day feel a little zhuzhed up. I never even used that word judged, but here we did. Here we are. Okay. Here's an easy one. Take a different streak to work. Take a different route to work, the store, or the gym. So take a scenic route, or take the back way, or maybe there's a pretty neighborhood that you like to drive through. Take that way to get to where you need to go. Scenery shifts really do kind of wake up your brain. You're like, oh, hey, this is lovely. I love living here. Look at this sweet little town. Oh, I wonder what that house is all about. Here's another one. You could shower at night instead of the morning, or vice versa. Eat breakfast for dinner, or do errands midweek instead of on the weekends, so you have the weekends to yourself. You could try a new playlist or a new podcast or listen to an audiobook. I really enjoy this because you can use it in place of your usual background noise. Put on an audiobook. When was the last time you listened to an audiobook? Maybe you are an audiobook listener. That's awesome. Chris and I will listen to audiobooks when we're driving, doing cross-country road trips. It's funny because I love music. We don't really listen to music in the car. We are silent in the car. We drive silently. We talk to each other and we'll listen to audiobooks and occasional podcasts. But that's kind of how we jam. But we had an audiobook that we were listening to, and we didn't finish it by the time we got home. So then it kind of felt like we're in the 20s, 30s, 40s when they had the radio hour, and we'd come home, I'd make dinner, and I'd put on the audiobook. It was so nice that we could share in this little adventure to learn what was going to happen next through a book. It was awesome. And this one, I feel this is essential. Do what you want to do, of course, always, duh. But don't look at your phone right when you wake up. I make it a rule not to look at my phone or Instagram or social media until after 10 a.m., 12 noon is usually helpful. Yeah, the news, like, why start your day looking at things that you can't control that are just going to bring anxiety? And honestly, they're there to bring anxiety because that's what gives them clicks in the first place. That is what gets people engaged in talking and enraged and divided and pissed at each other. And my reminder on my computer just went off at that moment. But it's true. People feed off of fear, and that's why the news is so, the news. I can't even go there, but that's why it's there. The headlines are there to create fear, to create engagement. Why engage in that BS for real? Like, seriously. Things you can't control. Bye-bye. Start your day without your phone. You could even start your day without your phone for at least the first 30 minutes. Just enjoy the morning. Stretch. Make your coffee, do your routine, whatever it is. And then you can check it later. It's going to be there. It's not going to be there. Believe me. Okay. Mini adventures like going on a little lunch break field trip. Maybe you go outside, try a new cafe or restaurant, or eat at a park instead of at your desk. If you're working at a business and you're just like, oh, I'm at my desk, this is kind of boring. Switch it up. What can you do in that session to make it better? Then this is fun. You do like mini creative sessions. So you can sketch, write, put on a song that you love and you just want to dance to for 10 minutes or for 1 minute, just dance your butt off before getting into chores or any kind of extra work. I really enjoy doing this when I remember to. It's really fun just to shake it out. Okay, switching up dinner times, because dinners can be like, what are we eating? I mean, isn't that the ultimate challenge if you're in a partnership, is figuring out what you're going to eat every single day? How many times you like, okay, what are we going to have for dinner? How many times do you say that a week? 7 days? Us too. I really, really want to try to figure out a meal plan for us in the sense of, all right, Mondays we do chicken, Tuesdays we whatever. And within that, we can create a meal off of that chicken. Or you can say Taco Tuesday, Thai on Thursday, spaghetti on Sunday, whatever it is. It helps make cooking fun and also alleviates the stress of figuring out what the heck you want to eat. And we're definitely trying that. I want to try to do those meal plan things. We're still working on that one. Oh, this is a fun one. I really appreciate this. Dedicate 15 minutes to learning a language, instrument, or craft. So I'm on Duolingo, learning Spanish all the time, every day. And then instrument, yes, drum lessons. For my birthday, Chris got me drum lessons. I've been wanting to play the drums since I was 13. Why didn't I? Because I was in middle school and we had band, and every freaking boy, almost every boy, went to the drums. There was 15 dudes at the drums, and I was like, seriously? And I don't know if the band teacher said there's too many people, and so I chose trumpet because that was the other non-girly instrument that I could try because I was going against the grain, Or I don't know if I could have tried drums, and I was just kind of like, there's too many dudes. I'm just not going to deal with it. I will toot my own horn, pun intended. I did end up getting first chair because I wanted to practice. I wanted to be good at an instrument, but also I wasn't into the flute and the clarinet. Nothing wrong with those instruments. They're amazing. I just wanted to do something different. But the drums were always in my heart, and I was so pissed that I never learned to do it. And so 43 years, now I am 43 years old. My 13-year-old self is cheering me on as I practice drums. I did my first lesson last week. It was great. Very, very vulnerable. I felt so vulnerable. I was sitting there. So my drum teacher, he has a drum set, and then I have a drum set, and we're facing each other. And he said, do you have any music that you want to play or was inspiring to you? And I put on Bad Bunny. I said, I want to play Latin drums. This is my goal here. I'm half Puerto Rican. I want to connect with my roots. And so he was like, yeah. And he starts playing. He's like, all right, let's go. I was like, I've never sat behind a drum set. Can we just start? Like, what is this drum called? He's like, oh, he didn't realize. He thought I had played in high school or something. So it was hilarious. I had no freaking clue even how to hold the sticks correctly. And then we start doing these exercises, and I'm getting some of them, but I'm, messing up. It's my first time. It's totally fine. But I felt so vulnerable, and I feel the same type of vulnerability and reward speaking Spanish. I love speaking Spanish. I practice whenever I can. And, you talk about feeling vulnerable if you speak a different language and you're learning how to do that. And you're thinking, wow, am I butchering? Am I, do I sound like an idiot? Like, what's happening? But when you're able to connect with a person and they understand what you're saying, oh my God, it feels so good. And that's what the drums feel like when I'm playing. It's the exact same feeling. I feel super vulnerable. I mess up here and there, but then when I actually get it, I'm like, I did it. It's that instant reward. I love it. So Duolingo, I highly recommend, by the way, if you want to learn a different language, maybe your cultural language you want to learn, try Duolingo. They have, I don't even know how many languages, 150 on there. They have a free version and a paid version. This is not sponsored. Just throw that out there. If you want to learn an instrument, do it. The drum lessons are 30 minutes each week. So it's doable. It's quick. It goes by so freaking fast. But he sends me home with sheet music. Now I can read some of the notes. I can read 3 notes. And it was great because I had my drumsticks with me. I recently went to Charleston. I came back and I was stuck on the bridge in traffic for 20 minutes. So I just practiced my drums on the steering wheel. I had my drumsticks with me. It was so nice. I wasn't scrolling through Instagram. I was practicing something that's bringing me joy and was helping me to grow. Highly recommend. Okay, this is another thing that I'm going to try too is rearrange your room, or maybe you want to shift some things in your house a little bit, even if it's art on the wall or photos, or move your desk or light some candles or whatever it is. It's fun to kind of change your environment because you feel like, oh, it is a different perspective shift, honestly. When you visually see something that has changed, your perspective changes as well. This is something I like to do too. Surprise yourself by putting like small treats or notes in different parts of your bag or your planner or anything like that. You know how you leave notes for your kids in their mailbox or their mailbox? It is their mailbox. A lunchbox is a child's mailbox. That just came to me. Does not feel legit. But leave small notes to yourself. I remember I left a note for myself that I found recently. It was in an old jewelry box. And it said, don't hold yourself back. You can do this. And I know what it was for. It was because I was deep in addiction. I didn't know if I could quit smoking weed because I loved smoking weed for so long and I didn't know if I could get out of it. I quit drinking alcohol almost 10 years ago, but weed, that was the last thing for me. I haven't smoked weed in over a year now, and I feel amazing because no matter what you're addicted to, once you're able to overcome that addiction, holy freedom. And yes, and that's how it feels. And I remember seeing this note, and I wrote it when I was high, going, don't hold yourself back. You got this. And it just chokes me up now. I'm thinking, man, Megan, I love that version of myself because I knew I could do it, even though I felt like I didn't know how I could get there. And that note really meant a lot to me. So leave a note for yourself. I love leaving snacks anywhere. I put snacks in different purses that I use in my car. And when I'm hungry and I open up that middle console in my car and I see that I have a macro bar there. I'm like, I love you, Megan. Thank you so much for this snack so I don't have hunger, so I can move about my day and be a positive energy person, because hunger is a real thing. I think it has actually been diagnosed as a mental, physical ailment. Hunger don't play. And actually, every time Chris and I go on a trip together, I am bringing snacks out the wazoo, because I know that hunger will come between our relationship, and we don't need that. Here's another thing. Block out an hour or even 30 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever to do something that's anything but your routine, or to absolutely do freaking nothing. At one point last spring, I think beginning of January on, for a little while, I would set my alarm for 11 minutes in the middle of the day. I would lay down on the couch, put my phone on Do Not Disturb, and just lay the F down. Not do anything. Maybe I would doze off for a second, maybe not, but just 11 minutes with my eyes closed on my couch in the middle of the afternoon. It was like 1 p.m. with a blanket. It was great. And that really does wonders. I don't know if you've ever actually done that for yourself, where you've sat down or laid down without looking at your phone, without looking at a book. Like, we're always multitasking, always doing. Try the art of doing nothing. I'm trying to think. There's like Spanish proverbs. There's a Italian saying about, the art of doing nothing. It's an incredible thing that you can give yourself. What is it? There's a Spanish proverb. I'm totally going to butcher this, but it says there's nothing better than doing nothing and then resting afterwards. Something to that effect. I know that might sound foreign, considering if you're definitely in the United States, because our society, we are built on, we have this freedom and this so much opportunity in this country that we're able to do all the things. And so we feel like we have to do all the things. But it's also lovely to take a note from our European family to just freaking chill and enjoy all of the things that we've built, and just enjoy life for just 11 minutes, 5 minutes, 1 minute. I mean, just try it. Sit in your car, set a timer, lay that seat back, have the air conditioner going. Just enjoy. Doesn't that sound lovely? Like a little vacation. And if that seems like it's too much, how about just writing down 3 small joys that you have in your life every day to train your brain to notice how blessed you really are. There was a point in my life where I was stressed out. It was that obviously that's happened several times, but there was a point in my life after I moved to California. It was my first time. Y'all might have heard this story. I left Charleston, South Carolina. I was in deep alcoholism and I quit drinking, and I needed to get the F out of Dodge. And so I packed my car and I moved to California because I had nothing to lose. And I'd wanted to move to California since I was 15. I was 30 at the time when I moved. And I got out there. I got a job at a small shop in Montecito, and I had my apartment and it was fine. The roommate was not such a great positive energy person. She was a Debbie Downer. It was just her personality. But as an empathic person and someone who is very sensitive and I care about other people, it really affected me. She'd say comments and she was just a glass half full person. And so I think it was kind of settling in. I'm like, I can't live here anymore. I was there for about 6 months and I was starting to feel really sad, maybe on the verge of depression, because I just didn't know what the hell my life held for me. I just knew I couldn't do my life out in South Carolina anymore. And my mom said, every day, write down something that you feel thankful for. And so, of course, I was like, no, Mom. And of course, Mom's right, because she's always right. And I started writing it down. And within a few days, I've really, really, really shifted my thoughts and my brain and made me realize how effing blessed I was to even be able to move out to California. It had a car that could take me there. It had food and just the basic needs, a shower, a warm bed. Do you know how many people out there in this world wish they had what you have right now? What we have so much. And I know in our culture, we feel there's a consumerism mentality that we don't have the best, we don't have the newest, we don't have the biggest. How do we achieve that? This compare and despair, social media, blah, blah, blue, blue, who effing cares when we really don't even give ourselves a chance to step back and see what we actually have. Food, shelter, warmth, family. I mean, that is rich. Ooh, sorry. I'm not sorry. Y'all know I get emotional, but that's true. We have so much to be thankful for. And if you ever feel down, it's okay. You're not alone. People have been there. I've definitely been there. And it's just a phase. It's going to pass too. And you're not going to be stuck in there forever. I hope that you are able to take a step back and look how beautiful your life is and how blessed you are. And even when our routines feel stuck, we don't have to feel guilty about it. We just have to have a perspective shift. What can we do to switch it up a little bit? What can we do to make ourselves realize how much we truly, truly have? Even when times are so challenging, even when the seasons go to shit, maybe a season gets canceled. What can we remind ourselves of the joys that we have in everyday life? Food, shelter, family, love, a warm bed. I mean, a car. If you have 2 cars, people are blown away. There's some countries, no, people don't have cars. That's not even a thing. It's incredible. And it's nothing to feel guilty about. It's something to feel grateful about. It truly is, because that's when our routines can shift, is when we can realize that we have the ability to change and adapt and create joy for ourselves in everyday life. Simple joys, whatever that may be for you. And if this hit, I would love to hear from you. I always love hearing from our community. You can hit me at support@POCFpride.com or go to POCFpride.com and check out what we got going on. And if you love this episode, it would be awesome if you could leave a review and tell others what you think. Or if you love this podcast, it's such a simple way to support our beautiful community. It really, really, truly means so much. And as always, you can always reach out to me. Just let me know what I can do, what you like to listen to about. If this episode hit, screenshot it, tag me on Instagram at megan.waldrop. I'd love to hear it. And that's all for today, y'all. Thanks so much for spending time with us. And I look forward to spending time with you again next week. With love, much gratitude, and POCF pride. Until next time. Thank you so much for listening. To support our community, I'd so appreciate it if you tap the subscribe button to this podcast or write a review. And if you're a POCF who wants to connect further, go to POCFpride.com for weekly vlogs and to learn about opportunities to join our private communities. We'd love to have you.